NBA preview with host Terry Chick.
Are we about to see yet another coaching change in the league? And why are the Lakers so hot? Well, one reason may be the play of Byron Scott. We'll be going one-on-one with number 4 a little later in the show, but right now, let's bring you up to date. And last night at Reunion Arena, a couple of teams heading in different directions. Very, very rough week for Charles Barkley and the rest of the Philadelphia 76ers. Barkley fouling out with just 11 points. Yeah, you can't win the games, Jimmy, if you don't have your big man in there. And the Mavs are going so hot, they only need 17 out of Mark Aguirre to win games nowadays. And the Mavs really opened it up in the third. They went on a 13-2 run as they were all over Philadelphia. 191. The Mavericks are red, red hot. At the Omni last night, a great game between the Blazers and the Hawks. That guy right there, Doc Rivers, had the triple-double. Dominique Wilkins had 47 points, and the Hawks had themselves a 15-point fourth-quarter lead, but with just seconds to go, Clyde Drexler gets the ball, wheels, deals, fadeaway jumper, count it. We're tied at 120. We're going to overtime, or are we? Are we headed to OT? The inbounds pass, the steal by Jerome Kersey. He just does beat the buzzer, and Portland wins a big one on the road. Talking about winning one on the road, let's go to the stadium in Chicago, where the Bucks played the Bulls. Milwaukee led throughout the game. In fact, they led by a basket here until Michael Jordan takes the steal, puts it up, puts it in. 38 points for Air Jordan. And the Bulls now have a 2-point lead with just 14 seconds to go. But Sidney Moncrief, the three-pointer, counted. It's a 92-91 Milwaukee lead, but the Bulls have a chance to win it. But Terry Cummings steals the inbounds pass, put it back up. Moncrief had 20. The Bucks win it. The Warriors and the Sonics last night, Dale Ellis, three-pointers, good. He had 30. But the man of the hour was Rod Higgins for George Karl. He had a career-high 41 points. This cuts the lead to 2. They're going to go back the other way. The Sonics need something to work, and they get the nice play. They get the foul. The X-Man goes to the line, sinks one, and the Sonics lose it. Win it, 114 to 113. So let's look at the standings. And in the Eastern Conference, this is the way the playoff picture is shaping up. And remember, the top 8 will head on to postseason play. The 2 division leaders right now, Boston and Detroit. Atlanta lost a big one last night. Then Chicago, Milwaukee, Indiana. I'm talking about all the teams from the Central Division are going. We probably ought to look at the clubs who are not going in the Eastern Conference right now. Philadelphia, Washington, and New Jersey. That's right. The Knicks are moving to second place in the Atlantic Division. In the West, no doubt about the Lakers and the Mavs. Both teams on the moves, both working on big winning streaks. Rounding it out, Denver, Portland, Houston, Seattle, and the clubs that are not making it right now if the playoffs started today would be Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, and the Clippers. More on the Phoenix Suns in a moment. But right now, back for a moment to the worst team in the Eastern Conference. The New Jersey Nets, looking an awful lot like an aimless ship in the night. Take a look at a play from Friday night, kind of sums it up. The Nets were at Detroit, and they got clobbered, they got sloppy, they threw the ball away. This is a crazy play right here. It was their 5th straight loss, plunged their road record to 1-25. But help could be on the way if we are to believe the reports coming out of New York. According to the Post and the Daily News, Willis Reed will become the Nets' new head coach, and it could happen tomorrow. He is presently Bill Russell's #1 assistant at Sacramento. Reed is, of course, a Hall of Famer and a former head coach of the Knicks. Now, Dave Wohl started the season in New Jersey, but was fired after just 2 wins in the club's first 15 games. Bob McKinnon has taken over on an interim basis, but is now 9-29 after last night's loss. And one of the big factors riding in Reed's favor, he is a cousin of Orlando Woolridge, who earlier this week entered a drug rehab center. And Reed has said, and I quote, "I'm probably the only guy who could straighten Orlando out." Now, of course, the Nets will be hiring Reed to straighten the entire team out. The Phoenix Suns are another club looking for a fix. They appear headed to their 4th consecutive losing season and the 3rd straight year of missing the playoffs. So back on Thursday, just before the trade deadline, the Suns changed the look of the ball club.
The Suns could see the writing on the wall and figured if they had to trade away 55 points a game, they would. So gone from the Suns roster are Larry Nance to Cleveland, James Edwards to Detroit, Jay Humphries to Milwaukee, and Mike Sanders, like Nance, to Cleveland.
We made some significant changes. We took, to a degree, we took the heart of our team, and our leader, Larry, and James, and Mike, and Jay, and we had to do something.
The Suns are going with a youth movement. From Cleveland, they get Mark West, Ty Corbin, and rookie point guard Kevin Johnson. From the Pistons, little-used rookie Ron Moore. And from the Bucks, they get Craig Hodges. And let's not forget about draft picks. They'll have 1 number 1 and 3 second-rounders this year, 2 second-round selections next year, and 2 more in '91. But all told, in the numbers game, they come out 23 points per game to the bad. And is that good?
This is the biggest deal the Phoenix Suns have ever made. It took time. We wanted to be certain in our own minds that we're going in the right direction. We wanted to be certain in our own minds the question that you asked, could we get more? My answer to you, I don't think so at all. We thought about the youth in making the trades that we've made because they have involved young players as well as future draft choices.
These moves by Phoenix have to go under the category only time will tell. But with a 4th straight losing season staring them right in the face, the Suns figured time had already run out on what they had. And it can only get better because it can't get much worse.
Well, last night the Suns tried out the new look at home facing Washington, and the new look didn't help. The Bullets won by 10. West, Corbin, and Kevin Johnson together totaled only 20 points. The Suns now have lost 17 of their last 21, and it doesn't get any easier because tonight they go to the Forum to face the world champion Lakers. There were a couple of other trades this past week. The Celtics and Trailblazers exchanged aging guards, Boston getting Jim Paxson, the Blazers' all-time leading scorer, while Portland picks up Jerry Sichting, who is currently on the mend after undergoing surgery on his right knee. Now, Portland, you might recall, tried to deal Paxson and his big salary last year to Cleveland for Keith Lee, but that deal fell through when Lee failed the Blazers' physical. And in one other deal, just beating the trading deadline, the Bulls and the Sonics worked out a swap, Chicago getting Sam Vincent, while Sedale Threatt now heads to Seattle. All right, while you're working out all those roster changes, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, the rough and tumble Central Division with a special look at the up-and-coming Indiana Pacers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. With 44 points, 17 of those in the crucial 4th quarter. In Dallas, you want to talk about hooping it up, check out this play right here. This one is tremendous. No one can get a handle on the ball. We're going to go one way, we're going to go the other way. But this isn't going to lead to a fast break basket. No, everybody's touching it. Everybody. Finally, somewhere. Where is he? Derek Harper gets it, puts it back up. Great play. In San Antonio, the Spurs hold off the Rockets Friday night. Walter Berry has 30 points and 1 beautiful assist to the Cadillac, Greg Anderson. What a move by Walter Berry. Also on Friday night in Chicago, you talk about beautiful moves, you're talking about Michael Air Jordan. He comes up and treats the fans to one whale of a show. He had and tied his season high with 52 points, taking him left, taking him right. And guess what? They lost. In L.A., on Friday night, Karl Malone hits the hoop. The Jazz lead the Lakers by 17. Pat Riley says, come on, guys. All right, Kareem goes outside, hits the jumper, but the Magic Man takes over down the stretch. He scored the Lakers' last 9 points of the ball game. The Lakers win it by 6, and they have won their last 9 in a row. Last night, the Indiana Pacers beat the Nets 106-98. For Indy, that was their 8th win in their last 11 games. Now, there are 2 ways to look at this Pacers club. You can say, hey, they're only 2 games out of the cellar in the Central Division. Or you can say, hey, these guys are only 6 games out of first in the Central Division. Now, the latter is the preference of the club, a club that has come a long way in a very short time. My colleague Gary Miller has more.
Just 3 years ago, under the legendary leadership of George Irvin, the Pacers were pitiful, barely winning a quarter of their games. That's brought the club only its second 500 season since joining the NBA. Ramsey's arrival coincided with Chuck Persons, who went on to win Rookie of the Year honors. But through the first half of this season, the Pacers showed no signs of bettering the break-even mark, and it tore at the team.
Well, when you're not winning, you have people pointing fingers at one another. Someone's, this player's selfish and this player is doing this and this player's doing that. But I think we got that straightened out now. We're winning games.
The unselfish approach goes beyond attitude to a stifling defense, which holds opponents to 46% shooting and in the low 90s scoring. It also led to a 7-game winning streak, one shy of the club record. The turnaround may have come out of what could have been a disastrous situation.
I think it might have started when Chuck Person got hurt and we had to go deeper into our bench. And then when Chuck came back, I kept him coming into the game off the bench. So now we suddenly have a pretty strong bench. And the guys who are coming into the game, the guys that are starting, are taking a new life. But we're playing better.
The team's leading scorer now comes off the bench, but as Ramsey sees it, the only difference that makes is you don't get introduced before the game.
Jack's philosophy, he likes to try to get 8, 9, maybe 10 guys into the game. So I think it took a while to get used to coming out of games and maybe not being in there as much. And I think right now guys realize that that's how he's going to do it, so you just got to put up with it.
We don't have a superstar, a Dominic Wilkins type player that we can rely to get 30 points a night. And so for us to win and to play well, everybody has to contribute.
The Pacers have 7 players who average in double figures. Only 2 other teams go that deep. And it makes the ever-present grin on Wayman Tisdale's face even wider.
When you win, you have a tendency to get a little bit happier than when you were losing some. So it's good that we're playing hard now, and you know, we go out every night and try to, you know, achieve something that we hadn't done the game before.
If they can carry that philosophy through to the end of the season, they may attain their biggest first of all, home court advantage in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Gary Miller for CNN's NBA Preview.
But they still got some catching up to do in that Central Division. I want to put the NBA on hold for a moment and turn our attention now north of the border and the biggest matchup of the night last night. This took place on the ice at Calgary and the 15th Winter Olympics. Debbie Thomas and Katarina Witt vying for the gold medal in the women's figure skating. Now, Thomas had entered the long program in the lead, but she also felt that Witt was the favorite of the judges. In other words, the gold was for Debbie Thomas to win or to lose. And by the time Thomas left the ice, the gold belonged to Katarina Witt, the silver to Canada's Elizabeth Manley, and a very disappointed Debbie Thomas took the bronze.
It's hard for me to be happy that I got, you know, oh, wow, I got the bronze medal, because I know I could have done better. I don't want to, like, you know, say the bronze medal was crummy, but it's hard when you were in first. You knew you had the performance that could take it, and you just didn't do it.
Now, while Thomas was feeling a bit down in the dumps, the champ, the first woman to win back-to-back gold since Sonia Henne in 32 and 36, was feeling, well, a little lightheaded by the time she met with the press.
First of all, I think it will be funny because I had the doping control and I drank beer, and I never drank beer. And so, sorry.
Friends, trust me, that went on for about another 2.5 minutes, and Katarina giggled the whole way through it. It just shows you that they may be gold medalists, but they are also human beings. That was a very, very touching moment right there, just giggling her way through a press conference. NBA Preview will return in just a moment. When we return, why are the Lakers so good? Talent, my friends, plenty of it, and that includes Byron Scott. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. They're hurting, so are the Suns. That's why they made the big trade back on Thursday. The New York Knicks were ailing, but not now. Could they make the playoffs? Well, let's pull out the old microscope and find out who's hot and who's not. And as I mentioned, who's hot? The New York Knicks. On Thursday, they snapped an 18-game road losing streak, and they have now won 8 out of 10. They're in second place in the Atlantic Division. In the last 7 games, Gerald Wilkins has upped his average to 24 points a game. Yes, they are hot. Dallas is even hotter. The Mavericks have now won 8 in a row. That ties a franchise record. They're doing it with offense, like Rolando Blackman, but they're more importantly doing it with the defense. Watch this. The Rockets can beat the Mavericks unless Derek Harper strips the ball, and he does. The Mavericks are on a roll. Big James Donaldson, he's not too much on a roll at all for Dallas. He's a role player, and his role is to get in there and just take up space. It's not shoot. He played 35 minutes against the Cavs on Wednesday night and didn't take a shot. Didn't get any points, right, because he didn't take a shot. Philly, they are ice cold. They've lost 18 straight on the road. And on Wednesday night, for the first time, Charles Barkley was held for just 9 points out of the double figures, and he only had 11 last night. They're cold. Detroit, they're hot. They've won 9 straight at home. They're 9-2 since the All-Star break, and Adrian Dantley is back in the lineup. He had 21 after missing 10 games. Magic Johnson's trying to win yet another assist title. He had his chance, and he's going to have more chances, but right now he's feeling the heat from who else? John Stockton, who leads him by just percentage points. Doug Moe on Friday chalked up career win number 500. That is 6th among active coaches, 12th all-time. And Michael Jordan, well, we showed you earlier. He had 52 points, while his teammates only had 44. But guess what? They lost because Portland out-totaled both of them, 104-96. Time now for a little one-on-one action. In the spotlight this week is the Lakers' Byron Scott. L.A. is also red hot right now. They won 32 of their last 35. They have yet to reach double figures in losses. And Byron Scott is a big reason for that. A former #1 pick of the Clippers. He's now in his 5th year with the Lakers, and he just keeps getting better and better. Right now, he is the club's 2nd leading scorer, but just percentage points behind Magic Johnson. And I asked Byron, is he playing above his head, or is this the real Byron Scott?
Well, I think this is pretty much been my year. The fact that I've come into my own, realized my potential, and kind of seen where I fit in with this team has made me just play a little bit better, progress a little, faster than a lot of people probably expected.
Did Coach Riley come to you and say, Byron, we're going to need you to do this because we're asking everybody to redefine their roles?
Not really. He just pretty much basically said to the team as a whole that we need another career best from each and every one of us to win another championship. Magic pulled me to the side and thought that if I lacked confidence against the bigger teams and the better teams, that he had to install some confidence in me and make sure that I showed up every game, day in and day out, and just come prepared and ready to play.
Did you lack the confidence against the better teams?
I don't think I really lacked the confidence. I think I expected them, as saying Magic, James Worthy, Kareem, our money players are 3 of our best to rise to the occasion, and putting a lot of pressure on them and saying, if you need me to shoot every now and then, I'll shoot the ball. But I expect you guys to carry the load. And I think this year I've changed my perspective about that, knowing that if the shot needs to be made, that you always have Byron there to make it also.
Byron, what does it do to your psyche to be a member of the world champs, but now to be the man that's in the spotlight?
I always keep everything in perspective, no matter how out of hand it can get, and being in Los Angeles, it always can be tough because you're always, like you said, in the fishbowl. And, I just come to every game with the same perspective and the same thing that I know I have to do as far as defense, offense, and, I haven't changed pretty much basically from last year. I'm just getting a couple of more shots, and I'm shooting 53, 54% compared to 48 last year.
Coach Riley, just minutes after winning the championship last year, goes out and guarantees a 2nd consecutive championship. Is that like Pat Riley, or was it just something that his way of spurring you guys on?
I think a little bit of both. I think that's like him, and I think it is a way of trying to spur us on. It gave us something to think about the whole summer, and I think that was a challenge from him to get us ready to make sure we come to camp in shape and focused on repeating. And I think pretty much he's a motivator, and he's a philosopher, and he tries to get little things to get a team up like our team, because we have so many veterans. It seems hard for a coach to come up with different ways to get us ready for a game. But when he said that, I think he, guaranteeing that we'll win another championship, put a lot on our minds. And I think right now we realize that we can do it.
What is it like going into someone else's backyard, knowing you're about as marked a man as you can get?
We enjoy, playing in front of the packed houses in Atlanta, the Detroits, the Boston, places like that. And it's a challenge. It really is a challenge, because those people come out to see you play because, 1, they like the way you play, they like your style. 2, you're Los Angeles and you're the world champions. And 3, pretty much because of the showtime. So they want to see if their team can put a stop to all 3 of those things. And they come out to cheer their team on. And we kind of thrive off of that, off of that energy the crowds give the other players or to their home team, and we want to make sure that we can shut everybody up.
The Lakers are doing a good job of that. Byron Scott grew up just minutes from the Forum. He's had Laker blood in his system for a long time. He's already a 2-time NBA Player of the Week this season. As I said, why are the Lakers so good? Friends, it's talent. And that's just about going to do it for this edition of NBA Preview. I want to thank you for joining us. Be sure to join Gary Miller and me this evening at 7:30 Eastern Time for Sports Sunday. We'll have highlights of Detroit-Boston. We'll also see if the Knicks can win a season-high 4th game in a row. Right now, keep it tuned to CNN, because right around the corner is Newsday Sunday with Ralph Wenge. Have a good week, everybody.